Before we start, I wanted to just talk about that we have a special guest on the podcast. His name is Brennen, also known as on YouTube The Hendrix Tapes. He just started his channel about a week ago. So if you want to check him out, there'll be a link in the description down there to check him out. We split this up into 2 recording sessions. So in the first half where we talk about the topics, we'll be with our friend and our good pal Liam from Potentially Unemployed, or at Rockstopper on YouTube, or not YouTube, Twitter. And the other half of this, or the rest of this podcast, will be with Brennan. So enjoy.
And disliked about Shazam.
All right.
Number 1 was Santa Claus. They got a lot of mileage out of their Santa Claus jokes. I didn't understand why it was in winter, because it would have been shot probably in like autumn or summer, and it's coming out now in spring, but it takes place in winter. And my dad's like, oh, maybe they wanted to release it like late last year, but they didn't want to compete with Aquaman. But no, I think it was just because they had a whole bunch of ideas for Santa Claus jokes, and they needed to fit them all in. And I respect them for that. It was fucking brilliant. The things I didn't like about it, every other Shazam but Shazam.
I don't know what that means, but okay. So, Star Wars trailer. Liam, you said you can't give a fuck about Star Wars. I've been wanting to tell Justin this entire time. When I swear to God, when it's a part in the trailer where Rey's like running, and I see the ship behind her, I'm like, this bitch is gonna do a fucking backflip over this. I know it. And then she does it, and I went, dog, this ain't it. This ain't it. Have you seen that? Like a Phantom Menace, I think trailer had the every generation has a legend, and they reused that for this trailer. They're like, you know what would get the fans back on our side?
I just on it like
Phantom
my favorite
Menace.
thing is the whole lead up to it. This is the last movie in this saga. This is the last one in the whatever, and it's called Rise of the Skywalkers. All of them are already dead or irrelevant.
Someone said, what if Rey is a clone of Anakin? And I said, what if they got someone who could actually write a movie to write all 3 of them? Right, so that it's like a story that makes sense and isn't created by like 3 separate fucking people.
Let me tell you the Star Wars movie I want to watch right now. I hear a lot of people clamoring for Solo 2 because they like Donald Glover, and also they like Darth Maul.
Solo
Shut the
1
fuck
flopped
up.
so hard though.
I hear a lot of people clamoring for Obi-Wan Kenobi movie. I hear a lot of people clamoring for this episode 9 or whatever. I want to watch the movie that was Sam's interpretation of the character from KOTOR, where he's just a racist for no reason and is a forgetful idiot who sucks as a gladiator.
So this will tell you exactly when this video is coming out. So I saw a tweet that said if you watch the fucking Star Wars whatever like panel like tomorrow on Mixer, you'll get a free copy of Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. And I was like, is it back? Are we gonna do this again?
You know what? That was a good time, and I'd like to do it right, where we don't have to cut out 9/10 of the episode
You know what?
due to bullshit.
I'm gonna say this. When Zach asked me, Josh, why did you cut it all out? I said, because it wasn't funny. He says, does it need to be funny? It's like, it needs to be not a podcast, at the very least, because the problem was the beginning of that video, everybody's making jokes. The end of it, everybody's making jokes. The middle of it, either I take that audio and turn to a podcast, which we didn't do at the time, so why would I do that? Why would I even bother doing that? Or I make it into a video. There were 2 options. One was preferred, one was asked for, and I did what I was asked. That's why I cut it all out.
Yep.
I left in you talking about the spinning blades, though.
Alright, Justin, what else do we talk about for the podcast?
Oh, Lucifer's back.
So, like, 2 days ago, they released the teaser to Lucifer Season 4, and they also revealed the day it comes out, which is May 8th, the day before my birthday. So I was like, I actually shared Netflix South Africa.
No, I've seen it.
Oh, good.
Are you kidding? Justin is one of the people that I've chosen to follow on Twitter, and I regret it almost every time that Justin does anything. Because I'm constantly getting like, oh, here's something that Jacksepticeye did that Justin liked or whatever. Like, okay, cool. Jack's films. Remember when he was relevant 15 years ago? Well, Justin's still, his number 1 fan. Thank you, Justin. but like I don't even remember. They posted the trailer.
It was Netflix South Africa that I saw post the trailer, and then I retweeted it saying jokingly saying thanks for the early birthday present. Netflix.
Justin, I'm gonna tell you, it didn't come across as a joke. It came across as very sincere that this trailer, which is like 30 seconds of a naked dude who's like super cut climbing out of a thing, and you're like, thank you so much for this blessed gift on the day before my birthday, smiley emoji. And that's, I was like, this makes me very uncomfortable, the fact that I know Justin's going to be whacking it on his birthday to Lucifer.
I like to point out, if I use an emoji, it's like 90% of the time it's a joke.
Can I explain how Justin explained it to me, what the context of this trailer was? Because I want Justin to, by the end, tell me how accurate I am to his explanation. But also, you're going to understand why, when he explained the context, there still was no context. He said, you have to read the description. I said, well, I didn't. And the description says it's picking up right after Season 3 left off. Season 3 left off where Lucifer and his girl, the girl always thought, oh, your devil face was like a metaphor. She's kinky and emo and into that shit. I'm reading into that, but don't worry about that, Justin. Okay, right. But so, at the end of Season 3, he kills the dude, and he gets the devil face back, and she's like, what's going on? And he turns around, and he's got the devil face. She's like, oh my god, and then they cut there. That's what Justin explained to me. So the context of why there is a strapping lad getting out of a pool.
And just making such sex face.
Yeah. There was no context for that, just that's what happened last season. Like, but that doesn't explain why the teaser is what it is, Justin.
So now that we got the topics out of the way, let's join me and Josh talking to our friend Brennen.
This is getting fun, right?
So, and in film school, we didn't really do any of in case of emergency, this is what you do. We didn't do fire drills or anything. They were just like, so if there's a fire drill, just get the fuck out of the building. And that's literally probably what one of the teachers said to us. And it was like, if it's a tornado, just go in the editing suites. And then that was it. That was it. It was just like, okay. So, luckily nothing happened, because we'd probably be like, well, this entire section of the school has no windows, so I'm guessing we're safe here.
Mm-hmm.
I remember really go under the desk because they folded into the walls. It's like, yeah. I don't think we should go under there. That thing will kill us.
I remember it was like at the end of the day, and I was in a calculus class, and the teacher was an old dude, so he was like a bit hard of hearing. And we kept hearing announcements, but they didn't go into the room. And so the first time he heard one, he's like, "Don't worry about that one." And he kept hearing, so he opens the door, and they're like, "This is a locked-in drill. Make sure you got your door locked and closed, and the windows are shut." And he goes, "Let's just pretend we did. Everyone's safe. We're good." And I'm like, I mean, I sit in the back. I'll just jump out this fucking window, won't I?
I always remember in high school when we have his door, when we'd have those drills for locked-in drills, we never even shut his door. He just left that thing open. So if a shooter came in, he's just coming straight in, right there. Just like, this is just a drill, don't worry. Dude would come and start lighting up, and he'd just be like, guys, no need to worry.
He's got the Tenacious D picture, and be like, no, trust me, guys. It's cool. I'm a chill guy. Don't even worry about me.
I remember in high school, in personal finance, the teacher was like, all right, so during the lockdowns, we lock the printer door room, we lock and barricade the front door, and then someone grab a chair and throw it out the window so that we can break the window open, and then everyone just single filely climb out. And I was like, I'm gonna get shot before I get out.
Well, those doors have windows right next to them too, so
yeah.
What was I gonna do? Had to break every window to get out. So do you guys record your guys' conversations for this? You guys have a podcast? What's the name of it?
Well, you came up with the worst name ever.
It was Podcast Time.
And I tried to talk you out of that.
You made it Podcast Time.
Podcast
That's
time.
beautiful.
I was like, that's terrible. Please, you need to change.
And then one late night, as I was editing the first podcast, I was like, oh, I thought of one. And then I just messaged Josh. I was like, I thought of a better name. He's like, what is it? I was like, the Aces Podcast.
The
He's
Aces
just like,
Podcast.
okay, it's better.
He's like,
We
that's
just
better than the podcast.
We
time.
just explained this to Liam. It's because obviously back in our college days, bear with me. Back in
Yeah.
our college days, back when we were both in college in the 80s, we were really good at badminton national champions. We were both called Ace. So we
Yeah.
would always say, "Good job, Ace. Nice shot, Ace," and the team would go, "These fucking losers, why are they calling each other Ace?" And that's how we throw them off the game.
That's why they call me Ace.
That's why they call me Ace.
yeah.
That's beautiful.
And then in gym class in high school, we were like dominating, and then we got teamed up with some jocks and
Yeah, people who were actually good at sports, and we just got our shit smeared on the ground. We were so good.
we were so confident, and then that just dropped it down. We're like, oh, we aren't the best.
Yeah, we got
We're
to
like
like
Rusty from the 80s.
we were like
aren't we?
in the semis, and then the first match against the Jocks, we lose. We get demolished. We're like, we're old. We had our glory days. It's over now. We're done.
That's hilarious.
And then of course we went bowling, and you have to enter your names. And there was 4 people on our like bowling thing, and so I just entered Ace for 4 different people. And someone came in. They said, "How do you know who's who?" And I said, "Easy. I'm Ace. That's Ace. That's Ace. That's Ace." What's more to question about my naming methods? I know exactly what's going on.
There was also golf. It was ace, and then leftovers. Because before we were just like, we only had 2 people. It was like, you need 3 or 4, or like 3's a minimum. So we're like, we'll take the leftovers of the group. We will take them. Come to us. And there was only 1 person because their group had like 4,
Yeah.
and they couldn't have a 5th person. So then they walked over and were like, well, we guess you're the leftovers. Every time we tell people that we nicknamed her leftovers, they're like, oh, it's so mean. It's like, no, it makes sense.
No, it's not
she's
mean
okay
at all.
with it.
Look,
Yeah.
as far as things I call people, it's one of the least mean things I say to people.
Mhm.
At least in high school, I said a lot of mean things to a lot of people. Didn't deserve it.
You
Leftovers was not bad.
You gave someone's name the definition.
Yeah, I
Cunt.
went on Urban Dictionary because we did that thing that people do where you go on Urban Dictionary and you put in a name and then you're like,
Yeah.
oh, haha, it's all good things. But there's not enough bad things. I'm just going to write the definition is cunt. And then I tried to submit it and Urban Dictionary went, hold up, we got to approve this. And I went, fuck, they might not immediately approve it.
Because I think what led to that was we were searching everyone's names, and
Yeah.
everyone's names had something as like they're a dick, or it
Yeah.
meant you had a big dick. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, he's a Justin, he's got a big dick, or it's like, oh, he's a Justin, he's an asshole. And so we did that, and then we came across this person, and it was just nice things about her name. And we were just like, there's not enough mean things. There's like 1 mean thing, which meant it was like, oh, she's a bitch. That was it.
That's beautiful.
Now, if you go to Urban Dictionary, if you searched in their name and scrolled all the way down, you will still find it.
It's still there. My jokes, they last forever, even if I don't remember them. That's my favorite thing to happen when somebody brings up a joke that I told them like years ago, and I'll go, I say a lot of shit, bro. I don't know what I said. Like we were playing Bionicles Heroes, and Liam was like, "What was that thing you told me about?" No, and I was like, Nancy Drew, and he's like, Nelson Mandela. I said, "Don't know what I would have told you about Nelson Mandela, buddy." And he's like, cloning Nelson Mandela would bring back Bionicles. And I went, "Nope, don't remember that. Don't know why I'd say that. I don't know what context I sent you that. It probably was like a picture." So that's a funny picture. I'm gonna send that to Liam. No, I don't remember that at all. Thanks for bringing it up.
Bionicles. That's awesome.
I still gotta watch the movies.
Dude, it's gonna
I
be a
went
nightmare
home
for
with the
you.
movies, and I'm going on my computer, and then I was up till 1 playing Black Ops 3 with Brandon.
Of course. Justin is a Black
fun.
Ops 3 modded map record holder for
Yeah.
zombies.
Map.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's Zombie Tower 3. We hold the fastest record for beating it in co-op.
Nice.
Oh wow.
We did it
That's
in like
crazy.
53 minutes, I think. We did it before, like that's the fastest, but we didn't like document or anything because everyone's phone was dead. So we're
Yeah.
like, fuck, my phone's dead. Fuck, your phone's dead. Oh shit, we can't document it. And then we did it again, and we're just like, my friend Brandon was just like, print screen, print screen, print screen, print screen. I'm just like, picture, picture, picture. And then he goes in the comments. He's like, yeah, we beat the fastest record. We did it in 53 minutes, like 50 seconds, and they did it in like an hour and a half. So I think
That's wild.
we're the world record holders for this map, and they still haven't changed it. I don't think they read the comments at the moment.
Bastards.
Oh.
I'm gonna send them a strongly worded letter telling them that I'm Justin's mother, and I will not stand for my son not having the world record when he earned it.
That's wild, a world record. That's crazy. My
Speaking of world records, you tried to beat a world record.
No.
on your vlog, didn't you?
It was just clickbait.
Oh.
Yeah, I just saw that because I watch a lot of those David Dobrik vlogs.
Mhm.
So I just saw that he clickbaits everything. My mom needs to leave me alone. But I saw he just clickbaits everything, so I just did it, and I thought it'd be funny. My sister's like, I put up a video just because I couldn't find my YouTube page, so I put up a video when I made it, and I was like, I couldn't find it on YouTube. I was like, where the fuck is it? And then I'm just like, well, maybe if I put a video on there, it'll be fine. And I come home, and I'm like, Paige, you watched my video? She's like, yeah, I watched your video. And I was like, all right. And then she's like, oh, you want thoughts? And I'm like, yeah. She's like, I didn't subscribe. I was like, what the fuck? You're my sister. She's like, put out good content, then I'll survive, and then I'll subscribe. I'm like, oh god, are you kidding me? And then I asked my parents, hey, you guys watch my YouTube channel? No, didn't even know you had one. I'm like, you guys literally swipe up on all my vlogs on my Snapchat, but you guys didn't see the link that I put in there for my YouTube channel. You guys will be the first people to be like, I think you should swear less, and I'm just like, all right. And then like, you can't watch my YouTube video, like you guys watch everything else. Oh gosh.
It took me, because I was watching your vlog and then I subscribed to your channel.
Yeah.
I was like, it took me like, because I typed in the Hendrix tape.
Yeah,
and
you
then I was
can't,
like,
you couldn't find
I was
it
like,
right away.
Which one is it? And well, what happened was I did see it, but I didn't know what your profile pic was. So I was like, I can't find it. And then I was like, I guess I'll wait till he like promotes his new video.
Yeah.
And then I saw it, I was like, fuck, I did see it. I just turned to my computer and just subscribed.
Yeah. I'm making another like YouTube channel, but it's for my roommate next year. Me and my roommate, because we actually are gonna try breaking like world records, like the really dumb ones, like how many discs can you balance on your head and like that shit. Like literally just gonna try breaking those, or like how far can you throw a grape into someone's mouth? Like those ones, the ones that are easy, so sound easy but are hard, but like. The ones that no one actually cares about, those are the ones that we're gonna go for on our YouTube channel.
I actually want to know now what's the world record for throwing a grape into someone's mouth?
I'm sure it's something ridiculous.
Yeah.
It is. I know like what was it, like 30 seconds? How many marshmallows you could eat? It was like only like 7. It was not a lot, but like then it must be harder than what it sounds like.
I remember there was like a music video. I think it was for some like. In the weird in-between time for Paramore, when they went from emo to like pop, they made a music video that was them breaking records, and I remember watching it and thinking, these cannot be real records. I think one of them was how many times you can slap a stop sign with a fish or something, like fish is thrown at a stop sign.
There's a record for everything.
I'm like, who set that in the first place? Who sat down and said, I got 37 fish, I got 30 seconds of time, I got a stop sign, let's go.
Pretty sure you could probably brainstorm some pretty weird ones, like pretty quick. And this,
I bet
submit
anything
it.
you think of, there's probably a world record for it.
For sure.
It's just like, it's just like fastest time or amount, the world record for amount of times is just doing that thing where you run up to lockers and you just jump into them. See how like there's probably a world record for how many you can do. There was someone in high school that like I think you and I were walking to like.
The one where they just jump up and just flail on the ground.
They'll jump up and hit the locker, and like I think we were going to a study hall once, and we just like we walked up, and then she just like in front of the teacher just like slammed
what was her
into
name?
Yeah.
Used to jump into those lockers
It
all
was
the
her,
time.
because what happened was she did it, and then a teacher started walking over to her, and then Josh and I just kind of went like, no, we're just not gonna pay attention to that.
Yeah, for sure. There's one world record where some dude balanced 26 tennis balls in one hand. I was like, how is that even possible? His hands weren't even that big. Like the dimensions of it were like almost the same as mine. So like, how do you do that? My hands aren't big. Like, I don't understand.
I mean that's impressive.
It was super impressive.
Figure out like how you like stack them in your hand.
Dude, you
You gotta be like so like still for that too. Like
Yeah,
I
Oh
wouldn't-
yeah,
I
you
wouldn't
couldn't
be
even
able
move a
to.
little bit.
I wouldn't be able to. Like, I'm super shaky.
Yeah, it's
No.
the years of drug abuse in our college years, so we were really good at badminton.
Yeah.
All the steroids we did. So we were good at badminton.
Oh god.
I was also gonna say it's probably also me and my dad did the military diet like last month. We haven't done it in a while though, but
What's
we
that?
did that. It's where like you only eat 3 times a day, but you only eat like these small amounts of food, and like one lunch. I posted on Instagram. One lunch was a cup of cottage cheese. A
Oh yeah,
hard-boiled egg,
you did, yeah.
and
Okay.
some saltines. I was just like this is lunch. Now I've been basically just only eating about like 1,100 calories, and I was probably eating over 2,000 before this, and I'm just like, I think I'm shaking because I'm burning too many calories. So at one point I was just like, I gotta get something else in my system. So I made like that military diet lunch, but different because they're like, don't do it after more than 3 days. And I was like, well, I enjoyed that lunch. It was easy, so I'll just add a couple more things. I was like, I think I'm shaking a lot, so I just grabbed a brownie. It's just like, that'll help, and it actually did, sadly.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, it's a sugar crash.
Yeah. A little sugar withdrawal time
Did
now.
you also like start drinking coffee for the first time or something?
Yeah, I started drinking black coffee on that diet because I was getting tired of water. You could only drink either water or black coffee, and I was like, I want something that has a taste at least. So I started making black coffee. I was like, oh, this is good. And then 8 p.m. in the night later, I'm drinking black coffee still, and my dad just walks in and he goes, your grandma is coming out. I was like, what? And he's like, your mom's side of the family, your grandma, she always drank coffee from the minute she woke up till she went to bed. And I was like, okay. I just started drinking it again.
You know what the main thing about coffee is though, Justin?
It keeps you awake.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
caffeine. It's supposed to. You're like,
There was a moment where I was just laying in my futon. I was just like, why the fuck can't I go? Oh, never mind.
We-
I remember.
My roommate right now, so I live in like a freshman dorm, so I got a freshman roommate because I transferred schools this year, and he stays up super late because he starts drinking coffee at like 2 a.m. So the other night, I'm over at my girlfriend's room, and then I come back and I start playing video games in my friend's room, and I go back to my room finally. It's like 2 o'clock. I walk in and he's literally up making a cup of coffee for his girlfriend and him, and he goes, do you want some? And I'm like, it's like 2 a.m. He's like, coffee doesn't keep me awake. So like, we stay up, right? We're starting to play cards, and I have class at like 8 a.m. It's like 4:30 now. We're playing cards, and he's like, dude, I don't think I'm gonna sleep tonight. And I'm like, that's from the coffee. He's like, no, I just don't sleep. I'm like, what the fuck was? Put these two things together. You're not sleeping because of this coffee. Like, oh gosh, yeah. But we did play cards. We played King's Corners for about 4 hours, all the way until I almost went to class. That was wild. Actually, one time in finals, I stayed up for 61 hours straight. That was wild. The only time I slept was for like 30 minutes, and I fell asleep, and I almost missed my final because I fell asleep. I literally walked in 15 minutes late because I fell asleep. I was like, fuck. My friend woke me up because he had a final to go to that was a little after mine, and he was just like, I told you not to sleep, and I'm like, I didn't want to. I'm literally sitting there like, I'm on my futon. My futon's just up, and I'm sitting there like this with my phone in my hand, and I'm just like this. And I fell asleep. I literally was already like dreaming, and this is like 30 minutes in. And it's for my psych final too, so I'm dreaming about like psychology stuff. And he comes in, and then I'm just like, I stand up like as soon as he says it, and I start walking, and I finally wake up when I get to the stairs, and I'm just like, what the fuck? And he's like, were you just asleep? I was like, I don't remember doing this. He's like, yeah. He said, and then I was like, what the fuck, dude? He's like, you got a psych final right now. I'm like, oh shit. And he's like, yeah, you didn't grab your backpack. And I'm like, fuck. And I have to walk all the way back to my room, grab my backpack, and I come back, and I get to the test finally, and like everybody's there besides for me, and I sit up straight up in the front row, and it's like a 250 student lecture. So I walk in, and I sit down. After I got my final, I try to pull out my pencil. I don't have a fucking pencil, so I have to go to the dude next to me. I'm like, hey, you got a pencil? He's like, where the fuck have you been? And he's like, how don't you bring a pencil to your final? I was like, man, I don't know. I have no clue.
After 60 hours.
Yeah, I had no
Pencils
clue.
aren't
I came
taken
home
seriously.
after finals, and I'm going to my sister's basketball game, and I get there, and literally, like, I was shaking in anger at everything. I was getting so mad. Dude, I got kicked out of the game. It was in East Troy. I got kicked out because I told the ref to go back to the fucking nursing home. I was like, it's past your curfew. Get back to the nursing home. And he's like, who said that? And I'm like, I did. Come here. I was like, dude, get to the fucking nursing home or ref better. And he's just like, all right, you're out of here. I'm like, I don't want to be here anyways. I was like, I got forced to come anyways. And I just left. I was so pissed. I literally was on edge. I was shaking.
Oh my god.
Oh, dude, sleep is important.
Yeah, I had in my biology class, there's a lab component, and we had a person in our lab who, like, after, like, 2 labs just stopped showing up, and we're like, that's weird. And I went to class one day, and the other person in my lab didn't show up. I'm like, am I going to be the only person in my fucking lab group? And the next day I go to class, and he's there. I'm like, oh, where were you? He's like, yo, I fell asleep. And I'm like, you fell asleep? He's like, yeah, I was on the couch right next to this room. I'm like, what?
Get outside the room.
Like, this class starts at 2:30 in the afternoon.
Exactly. Like,
what? Like, did you not sleep? No, I slept today. I just fell asleep. Because this dude, I was like, it's weird because he always is like there like 15 minutes before the class starts because he's like, I don't know what else to do with my time. It's like, well, apparently you just nap outside the room.
That sounds like my friend at school. So like, it was literally, I can give any example any day of the week because like, yesterday, our last night or 2 nights ago, because today's Saturday now, so like 2 nights ago, he took a nap at like 3 o'clock, wakes up at 9:30 at night, right? I go into his room and he's like sitting there playing Fable 3, and I'm like, oh, yo, I'm about to go to bed. I'm kind of tired because I just had like a softball game or something dumb that Ezzy made me do. But I go to bed. I get up in the morning. I like go like shower, and his door's open, and I'm like, what the fuck? Because his roommate got up, and like I just see a blanket coming down from this bunk over top of somebody playing video games. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? I walk in there, he's still playing Fable 3, and it's 7:30 in the morning still. And I'm like, dude, what have you been doing? He's like, dude, I don't know, I just can't sleep. And I'm like, oh, it's because you don't take naps at the worst time of the day. He literally doesn't sleep. Every day he does the same nap, and that's every night for him. And I'm just like, how do you do it?
There was a moment, because both Josh and I worked at the gas station. We call it the gas station for obvious reasons. But we weren't working together, but when I was working there, I was doing night shift, and I told them, I was like, I have school from Monday through Thursday, so I can best work Friday, Saturday, and possibly Sunday. And they're like, all right, your schedule is Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday you're off, Thursday, Friday. And I was like,
Don't you just love that?
Okay, yeah. And then like I get to school. There was a point where I was afraid to go to school because I was like, I don't want to fall asleep, because one of the teachers in like my second mod before I was working there, she's like, if you don't have the ambition, get out now. And I was like, I don't want to look like I don't have the ambition for filmmaking. I'm sitting there on the way back home from school. I'm sitting there like driving, trying to stay awake, and I'm like, this is fucking nuts. I don't think I can do this. And then 3 months passed, and then I finally go, my classes are gonna change to like from like 1:30 to 6:30. I won't be able to work really because I can't do the day, and I don't want to be like making someone wait for me. I think at one point Liam was waiting for me for another half hour, and I felt bad doing that. So I was like, I'm just gonna resign. And they're like, all right. And I was like, cool. And then I left, and then Liam at like one of my last days, Liam goes like, I hear you left. I was like, yeah, I was gonna tell you. Who told you? And I was like, manager. I was like, oh, okay. And he's like, well, I just got Josh to join. I was like, oh, cool, I guess.
Fucking asshole.
Oh god.
Most nonchalant. He's like, yo, you still looking for a job this summer? I'm like, oh yeah, sure. And he's like, oh, just go apply right now. I'm like, right now? He's like, yeah, right now. So I was like, what do I need to put in like all this shit? And he's like, don't bother filling out. You already got the job. I'm like, all right, buddy. Just send it in, go to the interview, get the job. I'm like, yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. And it was a fucking nightmare. Fuck you, Liam.
Oh god.
So that gas station is said to be haunted, And,
I've heard about that. Yeah.
And there were like I was just like, really? And like when I first started working there, I was just like, because they were like, people were saying like, we don't go, or some people don't go in the basement after a certain time. And then after that certain time, I just walk up to the basement stairs and I'd be like, sup, ghost? High five. No? Okay. Just like, I was like, and someone was like, what the hell are you doing? I was like, I'm trying to befriend the ghost. And then someone told me that it was like the ghost of like a murder victim, and then the murderer who got hit by the train as he was running away when that used to be like a motel back in the 1800s or something.
It's a pretty
And I was just
story.
like, then I better get on his good side. High five. And then it was then we were working and we were like closing, and then all of a sudden I'm hearing like footsteps coming from the basement. I'm just like, what the fuck? And then person I was working with was like, you pissed him off. And I was like, I was trying to be his friend. And then like I was like, my immediate notice will be tomorrow if I come in and someone says, so I saw the name Justin written in pizza sauce on the cutting boards. And then my immediate notice would be me running away from the gas station going, bye Liam, I'm done. Didn't happen. But then later on, one person was like, I'm gonna go stock the coffee stuff, and then I was like, alright. And they go in the cooler, and I'm just sitting out there. This was my moment where for the past 2 months at that point, I was not getting any pizza orders. So I was literally being paid to look at my phone and look at memes. So I'm sitting there, I'm just looking at memes. No one's in the store. Subway's already closed. And I hear footsteps coming from like where the ice is in the freezer. I'm just like, what? And I get up, I go to the register to try and look, and then someone walks in, and I deal with them, and then I turn, and then the footsteps are gone. I'm like, okay. And then later on, I'm just like, so I was working with someone. They're like, I'm gonna go out back quick and have a break. I was like, all right. They took a really long break, and I was like, where are they? I'm just working pizza. And then I'm finishing up pizza, and from the kitchen, I hear a loud bang. So I just pop my head in the doorway, and I don't see anything. And I think it was like, I was like, something just moved the mop bucket. Okay, and I just went back to the pizza. I put it in the warmer, and like 10 minutes later, the person comes back in. So I go back in the kitchen, and then I find the garbage can tipped over. I was like, somehow the garbage can tipped over. And then they're like, well, I knocked into it like a little bit ago. I went, yeah, well, this happened while you were outside. I heard a loud noise. I'm pretty sure it's that. And then the next day, I was working with them again. I was like, fuck! And they're like, what? And I went, I forgot to tell them to check the security tape. I want to know how the trash can tipped over. And so they will never know how the trash can tipped over.
Well,
and I'm
wild.
the only one that heard it because there's no one in the store at the moment.
Well, Justin, I don't know if your ghost story is the same as mine, but I was cursed. The ghost cursed me. I never interacted with the ghost. Actually, day 2 of me working, one of the employees' kids comes up to me and goes, you want to hunt for the ghost in the basement? I went, not particularly, small child. I'm doing my job. I am not taking you down to that basement. No, thank you. But I still had to interact with the child because it was like, child just followed me around. And later on, it became okay because the child was no longer allowed to like come near me because the kid was like washing a dish or something, and somebody came and went, that's against child labor laws. It's like, okay, sure, whatever, man. So the kid's no longer allowed near me. I'm like, yes. It wasn't me who was having the child wash a dish. I think it was his mother. So I'm like,
Yeah.
not my problem. Kid can't come near me. Good job. Okay, but I was so fucking cursed in that place. Every other week, something broke. Like one day the power went out and all the pumps stopped working. The freezer stopped working. Like 2 weeks later, freezer stopped working again. 2 weeks later, the cooler shut down and then turned back on and then flooded. And then, oh my god, it was just such a nightmare. Everything happened. One person turned to me and said, Josh, I don't like working with you because you're cursed. I said, thank you, Michelle.
I have a ghost story, I think. I was, it's like when I started talking to Azzy, my girlfriend, and we were talking on the phone. It was like 2 a.m., and I'm just sitting there in bed. I just, like, turned off all my computer shit. Like, I was, like, because I usually just FaceTime her while I was playing video games and shit on my computer. And I turned all my stuff off. Like, I made sure every night I turned everything off, right? So we start talking, like, an hour goes by. Somehow we get on the subject of ghosts. And we start, because she's telling me stories about all these ghosts that she's had in her life. Like, she thinks ghosts are, like, really prominent around her. Like, she's a super spiritual person. So
Take
I
it
don't
to
know,
Weary
scares.
Road. Let's see what happens.
I'm scared to deal there. One time I did go to Weary Road, and I swear to God, there was 2 motorcycles coming at me, right?
Yeah.
I was like at the end, like this. Say, Weary Road goes this way, that way. The bridge is right here.
Motorcycle.
That's on the list.
I did a documentary on Weary Road for my capstone, and I looked up like, what do people see? And it was like a phantom train, phantom cars, a phantom motorcycle.
Dude, I got goosebumps because I remember this. Like, I'm getting goosebumps from where I shaved. I can feel my hair growing already. But I'm literally like, I'm driving this way. I see 2 motorcycles, 2 of them. I'm like, go this way, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I'm driving at them, and I swear to God, I saw them both split and go into the fields. And I stop, and I'm like, what just fucking happened? I'm looking around. There's no tracks or anything. And I have, who was it? It wasn't Azzy. It was, I think it was Trevor was with me at the time. And we're both looking both ways. We're like, where the fuck these motorcycles go? Dude, I haven't gone since. That shit scared the shit out of me.
I went to Weary Road during the day because I didn't have like a light panel or anything for nighttime shots, so that would have been better. But I went there during the day with Travis, and I was like, all right, we're gonna investigate stuff, and like these are the things that happen where I was like, I couldn't explain why. One thing I could explain was probably just because of like the heat, but it said that like you'll see a green glow and that's Old Man Weary. So I was like I walked over the bridge to like start walking towards like that canopy by the bridge, and then I turned around, I walked back, I was like, hey Travis, anything? And he's like, no. And out of the corner of my eye, down where like that farm is on Weary Road, I saw like a green haze, and I was like, no. But like as I turned, it was gone. Well, as I turned my head, it was gone from down the road. I was like, nah, that couldn't have been. So I just kept going, and then Travis at one point, he like I don't know it, or I have a hard time believing him because I didn't see it, but he's like, he saw like a black figure like move in the bushes, and he was like, dude, I think I just saw like a raccoon or something. I went, well, let's leave it alone. Come on, we go up here. And then we go to the bridge, and he looks where he saw the raccoon, and I'm looking on the other side, just kind of looking for, I don't know what to look for. I'm just looking, and then he's like, dude. I was like, what? I was like, remember when I saw a raccoon? I was like, yeah. What about it? He's like, I'm looking at where I would have saw it. It would have been floating because the bank just went like that. It would have been floating. I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, I think I saw like. Now that you recalled it, he's like, I think I saw like the shape of someone, like looking at the back of someone, but it was all black, and they just kind of dipped out of the way, and then they were gone. And I was like, could have been the cultists. I heard the cultists are here.
Oh God! Speaking of cultists, dude, a couple weeks ago in Dungeons and Dragons, went to go fight a dragon. They had the fucking dragon cultist. My character got taken as a cultist. That was wild, because it was like either die or surrender to the dragon, and we killed all the cultists, so I was the only cultist left. It was just me. Everybody else died. I was the only one making it away because I'm a rogue and I'm an assassin. I got like the double dash going, and I'm like, fuck, I gotta get the fuck out of here. Dragon just all the way over here, like just killed my friend. I'm like, I'm fucking out of here. Dude flies all the way over. I thought I was safe. Dude just flies all the way over. He's like, I'll either attack you, I'll eat you, or you can become a cultist and worship me. And I'm like, yeah, I'll worship. Took me a second. Everybody died already. I was like, we might as well all make new characters. But yeah, back to your story, sorry.
So the most creepiest thing out of the entire thing was we were near the corner, and we were like facing the woods, and we were like trying to see, because it was like saying like imp-like creatures are in the trees, so we were trying to see these imps. So I was like, okay. And then he's like, it could have been a branch, but he thought he saw like a decrepit hand just kind of like peel back. I was like, yeah, it could have been a branch, so let's just continue. And then I pull out my phone to do one of those like EVPs, which was a horrible idea because it was windy as fuck. So you couldn't hear any voices, but as we did it, I swear to God, I was like, if there's any spirits here, can you say something to the device? And it's just my phone. And then from behind, I hear like a female like go like, eh. And I was like, what the fuck? And Travis turns out, he's like, what? And, what? And I was like, did you hear that? He's like, I heard words. I was like, what were the words? He's like, I didn't make them out, but I distinctly heard words. And we're just like there's the farm, and he's like, that was right behind us, and there's no one behind us. And we're like, where the fuck did that voice come from?
Oh God.
I tried listening back, but at the moment when you hear me say the question, the wind picked up right afterwards, so I couldn't hear it in the thing, so I was like, I'll never know if it actually was like anyone or just the wind or something.
Dude,
It was really creepy.
how do we start talking about this?
You were talking about
Oh, in my room.
Yeah.
That's what it was. I was trying to figure out how we started talking about this. In my room, so I'm talking to her, and she says something about she was in Michigan. I remember this story. And like there was like a ghost child there, and she used to play with it, like actually, like an actual ghost child. Her and her cousin, you both saw it and would play with it whenever they went to Michigan because they owned like a lake house there.
Mm-hmm.
So they'd go to Lake Michigan and like go play with that ghost child. And I'm like, what the fuck? That sounds so creepy. Like you guys should be in some sort of movie if you guys actually hang out with your ghost friend here. God, because the only ghost I don't think of Casper the Friendly Ghost. I just think of fucking like, you ever watch Supernatural?
Yeah.
Ever? Oh, I just think of ghosts from there. Fucking assholes. I just finished that. But okay, back to this. So we're sitting there, we're talking about it, and I'm like, she's like, "Are you getting scared?" Because I don't like ghosts at all. Like it actually does scare me. Like, because the only time leprechauns and ghosts scare me. Leprechauns scare the shit out of me. You guys ever seen Leprechauns Back to the Hood?
That's what I was
Yeah,
thinking
that's
of.
exactly why. I was in first grade, and I thought it'd be cool to stay up with my dad one night because my dad like doesn't sleep. So I'm like sitting there. You know, it's probably past 9 o'clock because that's when I was staying up was for me. So I was like sitting there, and then he turns on a movie, and I see a leprechaun. I'm like, oh, this shit looks pretty cool. Like I'm gonna watch it. So I'm sitting there. I'm sitting there, and I'm like, oh my god, it's a fuck. I'm just watching what's happening right now. I'm just like, I didn't sleep because I didn't want to go to sleep. But okay, so I'm still sitting there. I'm sitting there, and she's like, you know, ghosts. If you keep talking about them, they get stronger, and you can start to see them, and like they start to do stuff. And I'm like, nah, no, they don't. I was like, don't talk about it. She's like, no, for real. If we keep talking about them, like if you keep bringing up ghosts, if I keep bringing up ghosts, they just become real. And I'm like, no, stop, please. I'm like getting like super scared because these are like my two fears, like leprechauns and ghosts, literally. And as soon as like we're sitting there, we're like done with the conversation a little bit. And then she says something again about a ghost. I swear to God, I turned everything off on my computer. Yeah. It all turned on. I fucking sprinted out of the room.
Dude,
I was
had that
gone.
happen just let my computer naturally fall asleep, and then like I'll be like, all right, now I can finally go to bed. I don't have this big bright red and blue light coming from my PC. So I'll be just laying there, like with my eyes open, trying to fall asleep. Lights turn on my computer as if like someone just like pushed them out.
Yeah.
Mouse says like, "Oh, you fucking asshole! I was about to sleep. It's 1 a.m.
No, the craziest thing is everything was off. Like my monitors were turned off. Everything just lit up. So I left. I literally didn't sleep in my room for that whole week. I slept on a couch upstairs. I was like, fuck this.
So, I think the thing I'd be like really scared of. I don't know why, because I wrote JustinTime and he's an alien. Yeah. I feel like I'd be like, I'd freak out if I saw like actual like extraterrestrials. Like I'd just panic and run away. Because like my worst fear is that I'll wake up and I'm now an abducted person. I'm just like, oh fuck, I'm gonna die. And so one night, my friends from the town I moved from to here, we had this game called the Imaginations where we were Jedi, all that. I said in the last podcast, but we were like Jedi. We had Omnitrixes. We had a Pokemon orchard under our elementary school. We had a lab. One of them had an Iron Man suit. Naboo was right next to the moon, which now that I think about it would have just destroyed both Naboo and us. But what happened was one night we were like we want this to be real. Why don't we just like wish? And I was like living with my grandpa, and I was in a bed that was like right across from the window. And I'm just staring out the window at the stars, and in my bed I'm just like, I wish that our imaginations were real. The second I did that, I saw like a ship, like the Republic gunship from Star Wars, just fly through the sky. Like it was like lights, just like a triangle, and then like a backlight and a front light, and it just flew by, and it didn't look like a plane at all, and it's like really close, and it was like big. I was just like, fuck this, and I just went right under my covers, and like I'm a 12-year-old. I'm like, no, not dealing with this right now. I wanted it to happen tomorrow morning, not at night. No, I'm not seeing Yoda now. No, that'll scare me.
Dude, when you said that, like, if you keep talking about it, I'm like, oh my god, Justin had those experiences because I wrote a parody song about Weary Road to the tune of Don't Stop Believing. That was my contribution. I was like, what if I was like,
strange lights, cultists.
Oh
up and down the weary road. It was just like I remember writing, I'm like, this is gold. And then you saw that shit, I'm like, and now I'm like,
if you were to record that and play that, if you guys don't have it recorded already, and played it on Weary Road, it would happen.
Dude, I presented it, and my teacher, she was like, you know, if you like made it like actually like took it as scrapped everything I had and like made an hour-long movie or documentary of it, you could probably make a lot of money off of Amazon. I was like, yeah, I'll do that. And then one of my classmates, Mike, he goes, but this time you should go at night with a Ouija board. And I was like, yes, I'll take a Hasbro product to the road. Just I don't believe in
show up with the Ouija board. The movie.
Work.
Just show up with the movie.
The Ouija boards don't work.
When Hasbro makes it as a board game, I don't think it's real.
I tried one.
If it's in the board game section of BAM in the mall, then it's not real. It can't be real.
I tried one in my junior year at the, you know where Avon Bottoms is? There's a cemetery there.
Yeah.
Like, you know that cemetery? We tried it there because apparently that place is, like, haunted. Like, obviously it's a fucking cemetery. There's spirits there. If there's going to be spirits anywhere, it's at the cemetery. So we go and we do it. Nothing happens. All I know is one of my friends took a pee there, and I just dipped. I was like, oh, this is not okay. I was like, I'm out of here. And then as he claims that she did a Ouija board and it works, and I'm like, that's fake. One of you guys was pushing it.
I heard, okay, so no one consciously is pushing it. I heard the science behind it is when you put it on and you ask a question, you already know the answer, so your body subconsciously starts answering it. So then that's what's moving it. And that's why you're like, I'm not moving it. It's moving on its own. It's because you are moving it, and it's doing that. That's how seances kind of worked, where the dude would start shaking the table, and then everyone would start shaking the table, going like, "Oh shit!" Trying to think they're trying to stop it, but they're actually shaking it. It's just like, holy fuck! It's going wrong. Something's going wrong, and it's just like, oh fuck.
Look, if I learned anything from Ouija the movie, and I did learn a lot from Ouija. They made up 3 rules, and one of them is you're not allowed to play where people died or something, and so that's why everyone dies in Ouija the movie. I don't know what the sequel is. I've never seen the sequel.
But I feel like one's enough.
Yeah, I think one was too many.
Too many.
I feel like if that had been I don't know, a 15-minute short film, it's something you'd see on YouTube, you'd be like, ooh, that's kind of spooky. Okay, move on with my life. But not
movie.
Feature film.
It was a very weird movie. The only scene I can picture so vividly, there's 2 scenes where she's looking through the hole in the Ouija piece because you see demons with that. Yeah. That's how that works in the movie. So she's like, oh, I saw a ghost. And then at the beginning when the girl dies in the house, she hangs herself with Christmas lights because some guy said that'll look real neat in our film if she hangs herself with Christmas lights.
Yep.
Were they on?
Yes, that's the thing.
God.
They were on, and it's a bit
It was just showing the difference between life and death.
They're a little festive.
Yes, some really really enthusiastic, some really enthusiastic assistants no, don't you see the light mixed with the darkness? Someone's like, yeah, these are from Santa Claus 3. We can use these fuckers. Yeah, just hang the shit.
Couldn't afford a rope, but they already had freaking.
Wasn't one rule you couldn't play with or play it by yourself?
Yeah, you couldn't play by yourself. That was another rule.
Is that an actual rule? I feel
no, there's no rules to the Ouija board. It's a Hasbro product.
It's just
there's another one like that in Japan. I'm trying to remember years ago, my weeb days.
Oh god, The Grudge. Oh god.
It was it's similar to a Ouija board.
I was watching when I was younger, I watched PewDiePie's montage of the Grudge thing, and I was just like, no. And I just kind of
Grudge is so creepy.
Put the phone down and went away.
They had one of those in Supernatural. They didn't call it The Grudge though, obviously.
Yeah.
It was the actual name. I don't remember it. That was pretty funny. I left.
There's also, let's see, other Japanese horror movies. The Ring. Yeah. There's The Ring. There's the original The Ring, and then there's the American The Ring, and then they made a sequel to the American Ring called Rings, and it was directed by the guy who made the Japanese version. So, what a muddled franchise at that point. That's the one with the tape where you watch the tape and then you'll die in 7 days.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I was trying to figure out what you guys. Okay, yeah.
It's
I saw-
called The Ring because you see a ring and then you die. And I think in the movie, she pulls up a coffee mug and she's like, the coffee stain on this paper. I'm gonna die.
I think in the second one, what they did was someone got their friend to act like their mom, and then the girl didn't kill her because she thought, oh, she's got a mom, and because it was like they said like her mom threw her down the well. So
Yeah.
if you have a loving mom, then she won't kill you. So then the friend acted like her mom, like, don't kill my child, and then she's just like, okay, and just left.
Okay.
And she's like, what? Mom,
I'm trying to
come
remember.
here.
I try to remember, like, I saw the movie years ago, Rings, but I think that, like, there's so much about, like, mothers in that film. Like, I think the main character goes to an insane asylum, and she's like, what do you know about this ghost? And she's like, she's just looking for a mom. She just wants to be loved.
Oh
It's
my
like,
gosh.
yo, she murdered quite a lot of people looking for love. I'm not sure I would, like, at some point you gotta realize murdered too many. That's one person too many, one child too many.
I saw a meme where it was like, Ring would never work in 2019 because no one has a VHS player anymore.
Excuse me, I was once in Zach's car and he said, you want to watch a movie? And I said, what do you
Oh,
mean?
yeah.
And I opened, and he said, open that glove compartment. And I opened it and there was a VHS copy of Kiki's Delivery. And I said, why do you have this? He says, because I like the movie. I said, I like the movie as well. Why do you have this VHS copy? He said, because I want to watch it. I'm like, where do you have a VHS player? And he goes, I'd have to find one.
I mean, I'm not saying I don't have a VHS player. I just don't have it hooked up.
Yeah, he doesn't have a VHS player though. That's the
Yeah.
important bit. He didn't have one. He's like, well, in case somebody has a VHS player. It's like,
I have one up in my attic. I wanted to use it because we have a shit ton of
I'm
VHS
pretty sure
movies. I
mine
wanted to watch
is in a
Tornado.
box up there. It's probably in one of those boxes. That's where it is. That's where my VHS DVD player is. Now I don't even use one. I just use my Xbox to watch
DVDs,
I use my 360 to watch DVDs, and I use my Xbox One to watch Blu-rays.
Blu-rays, yeah.
That's about what I use.
yeah.
Yeah, solid. I just watched Lord of the Rings the other day. I haven't seen it in forever, and I died laughing when he said, "Fine, keep your dirty little secret, or keep your little secrets, or your secrets." And I just cried because I just think of the meme every
Yeah.
time. And actually, when I put the voice to it, oh gosh, I literally just die every time I read those memes now. Like it's 10 times
the
better.
Meme that it was, I think I shared it because someone else shared it, but it was like it had Pippin, and he's like, "What about winter?" And then Aragorn's like, "We already had it," and then it's like saying like coasties, and then Pippin was Wisconsin, and Pippin goes, "Yeah, we had one, but what about second winter?"
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, no, because I told my dad this. I was like, remember those jokes where it's like, welcome to Wisconsin. Monday's winter, Tuesday's spring, Wednesday's
yeah.
fall.
That's exactly what we had this week.
Yeah.
I was like, those memes? He's like, yeah. I was like, they're not funny anymore.
They're true.
Not. It
They're too
actually
true.
happened.
They're too
it
true.
just happened. They're no longer funny.
Yeah. I had a professor.
They're dead.
I had a professor who was like, "Oh, you don't have to come to class on Thursday. It's just like a workshop day, so you can enjoy the nice weather." And someone, it's supposed to be snowing, and he's like, "You can go sledding, Like,
We
I
had
don't know,
6
what do you want
inches
from
of
me?"
snow. It was
God.
awful.
We
I
got
just started getting pale. It
we
was
got
like,
a few flakes down here, but
Dude.
they still accumulated. I was just like, no.
I started driving because I was like, it was in between classes. And I was like, I have a 4-hour break. I'm not fucking I'm not sitting here for 4 hours. So I went home and I was driving back. I'm like, it's not even raining yet. Immediately, just snow's coming. I'm like, you fucking bastard.
oh. Dude, I just remember because I was walking back from, where was I? I think it was at class actually. Yeah, it was definitely at class. I was walking back from class, and then all of a sudden, I just like a shit ton of stuff that starts hitting me in the face. I'm like, oh my god! It literally just came out of nowhere, it just hit
Yeah.
me. And then like 2 minutes later, the ground's just covered. This stuff is like thick snow. I was like, what the fuck? And then I slipped quite a few times because it got really like, because it wasn't like cold enough to keep the snow on the ground, so everything just started like being watery, and then like
Yeah.
I just started slipping all over the place. It was disgusting. I would have vlogged it, but I didn't want to break my phone, so I put it in my backpack because I literally just cannot stand up. Apparently,
I had that. So back in high school, when it was like full blown winter though, but it was I stayed till like I was there till 8 o'clock, editing with one of my friends, because we were trying to finish our project for media arts. And then we're walking back, and he's like, "Yeah, I gotta go to the restaurant," because his
Oh, yeah.
He's just like, I gotta go to the restaurant, but I'm gonna take my time because I don't feel like working today. And I was like, all right, I gotta turn off here. And so I turned off at my mom's road. I started walking down it, and immediately, like, I'm like almost there. I'm like, just like, I'm lined up with Shu's house. I was like, I'm almost there. Hit ice, fell, and my backpack just got soaked. I was like, fuck, and I just ripped out my laptop from there. I was like, I'm carrying this, and then I just like carefully, just like really slowly, like took each step. It took me like 15 minutes to walk 3 feet. It was like, I was just like, I'm definitely not slipping, holding the laptop out of the bag. Gonna just walk real slow. It took me 20 minutes to get in the door.
Oh my gosh. You know what this reminded me of? Because of when it started snowing. Okay, so like we have a main building in Oshkosh. It's called Reeve, and it has like a store in there. It has like Pizza Hut, like a Qdoba type ordeal, a Subway type ordeal, and then like a bar area, and then a smoothie place, and then there's like the shop or whatever. But in like this little hallway area, they always put people like whatever they're trying to promote, whatever, all that shit. And I always stop for it because it's always fun. But this time I wasn't feeling it because it said "Be the Match." I was like, oh, I already have a girlfriend. So this lady stops me and she's like, hey, would you like to sign up for BeTheMatch.com? I'm like, no, I got a girlfriend already. She's like, oh. She's like, that's good. So you don't want to save a life? And I'm just like, save a life? Who needs a boyfriend that bad? she's like, oh no, we're a blood donation center. And I'm just like, oh, yeah, I'll save a life. I'm all for it. I love donating blood. Like, just like, I felt so shitty after that. I was like, oh god, I should have known. Should have known. They don't just have a dating website right there. Then I got a sticker. It was pretty cool.
Oh my god. I was in biology class, and it was the day where the professor's like, we're gonna talk about what blood types are, and she's like, who's this blood type? And I want to say, like, throughout all the blood types, 7 people raised their hands in a classroom of like fucking 40 people, and so it was like nice. But the guy next to me, he's like, I'm O, and then she talks about this type where it appears as O, but if you actually get O blood, you just fucking die immediately because your blood would like thicken and kill you.
This sounds scary as shit.
Yeah,
like,
I turned to him and he's like, it's fine, dog, dude. I'm good. Like, I'll be okay.
I might be O.
He's
Who
like,
knows?
okay, dude. I'll be okay, dude. I'm like, are you sure, man? You should get that tested. He's like, nah, I'll risk it.
Nah,
It's
we'll
like,
just go with O blood, you know. If I die, I die. It was whatever.
I remember back in middle school when in 7th grade science we were doing the whole like blood test. I forgot my permission slip, but it was in the time where it was like someone was like, "Can I call my parents quick?" I forgot my permission slip, and they were like, or the teacher was like, "Yeah, you can." So, but it was at the point where I was like, I don't remember my mom's phone number. So I was like, here. What if? And it was in the time where I was wearing like a shark tooth necklace. I was like, here, hang on. Ow, trying to like. I was like, if I do it myself, is that alright? And I couldn't draw blood, but my finger hurt the rest of the day because I was like trying to stab it with a shark tooth.
No,
It wasn't. Now that I think back to that necklace, it wasn't even like that sharp of a shark tooth. I'm pretty sure they rounded the end so that it didn't actually cut you or like prick you. So I'm just sitting there hitting my finger with a blunt shark tooth, going, "Fuck, come on!" And then Cameron came up. He's like, "Dude, I forgot my permission slip." I'm like, "Join the club." Fuck! And then I just hand it, and then he's just like, "Fuck!" And then we're just handing the shark tooth back and forth. And then that's when the teacher was like, "We're done," and we were just like, "Fuck."
I remember, I remember, this actually just happened to me like 2 weeks ago. I donate plasma like every week, twice a week, because you make like $70 doing it, and just get to watch YouTube or do whatever for 40 minutes. So I go in there, and usually they're pretty good at like just getting the vein, so it's like it's not that scary. So last Tuesday I go in, and I get my blood drawn, and the lady comes up, and she starts putting the needle in my arm. She like literally felt all around my arms, like you literally could see the vein, and I'm like, all right, because like they're tightening it, and like you could see it, and I'm like, all right, like it shouldn't be too bad. It took her 9 stabs into my arm, and I'm just like, what the fuck? I'm like, she's like, sorry, I get the hard veins all the time. I'm like, it's fucking right there. You can see, I can see it. I can put it in there. This dude comes over. She's like, hey, can you do this one? It's really hard to get. He comes over. He's like. And then he's done. Literally like that. He's like, yeah, it was a difficult one. And just like trying to make her feel better. And then I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me? Then later that week, so I had a huge ass bruise on this arm forever for the past 2 weeks. Not there anymore, I don't think. No, it's all good, but like that's where, yeah. So later that week I went, and the lady, a different lady this time, she pulled the needle out early, so my blood just started going all over my arm instead of like, it was fucking wild. The whole seat just started becoming blood, dude. Like, it was wild. I was like, I'm never coming here again. Like, you guys suck at this. It's terrible.
I feel like that would be my luck, but both of those things happening the same day.
time.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
for sure.
that, every time that I'd go get blood drawn,
Oh.
I'd just be like, you missed it like 9 times, 10, 11. You want me to keep count? We're up to 50. It's just like, I'm dying now. I'm losing blood too fast. Fuck.
My dad, when he went to get his blood draw, the person couldn't get it, so he's like, "Give me this fucking needle," and he just did it himself.
Oh my god, what a G. I would never stab a needle in myself.
Well, he's a trained doctor,
Oh,
right?
yeah, okay,
He's a trained
yeah.
doctor, so he was like, "Give it to me. I got this." And then the nurse was there, and the doctor was like, "Just let him do it. Like, fuck it. He'll kill himself, but not be liable." First try, like, "Fuck you. Shouldn't take this long."
Dude, I've never been so like questionable of myself, like what I did in a day until I get there to draw blood, because you have to go through this whole screening every time beforehand. They go, "What'd you eat today?" And I'm like, "Fuck, I don't know." So you just sit there and you're like, "Holy shit! Like, what did I eat today?" They're like, "Have you exercised today?" I'm like, "No, it's like 2 in the afternoon. Am I supposed to go in the morning?" And then I got classes or sometimes, and then like they just go, "Can we gotta get a little prick of your blood?" And I'm like, "Okay, like just take it." Like, it's so uncomfortable doing this. I'm like, "Take it." So they do it, and then they start looking at the stuff, and they don't say anything to you. Like, no one's talking to you. Like, I'm just like sitting there, right? And then they're like, "Can you step on the scale?" I'm like, "All right, sure." What does this mean if I like? What? And then, like, no one explains anything to you. Then they're just like, "So your iron levels are low. Why is that?" And it's just like, I don't know. Like, I don't
know. I didn't have a
like, are
steak
you
this
are you iron deficient? I'm like, I don't think so. Like, should I get that checked? Like, I don't know. I'll fucking do this. I don't know. And then they're just like, "So you haven't exercised today yet?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not planning on it. Like, what the fuck? Leave me alone. Like, why are you asking about my health issues?" And then they just go, "Don't exercise, you'll pass out." And I'm like, okay, I guess no exercise. And the first time I did that, I gave plasma. It was a Saturday, so I went out like that night with my friends, and like, dude, I literally like passed out in like an hour because like I didn't realize they didn't put the blood back in my body. They just took the plasma. Like, I was trying to think, like, the next day I was like, dude, I literally probably had like 3 drinks. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Like, am I that lightweight? Like, what the fuck? I usually could drink more than this. And then I'm dying. Like, I'm just like, oh god, dude. After 3, I was yakking, dude. It was terrible. And then I'm like, next day I'm like sitting there, I'm like hungover in bed. I'm like, geez, that was a quick night. And I'm like, what are they doing? Like, why would that happen? Like, I got my blood drawn, but they put the blood back in your body. And I'm like, wait, do they? And I looked it up, and like, BioLife doesn't. I'm like, fuck. Are you serious? Do they donate my blood too then? Or like, what does that happen to them? But like, dude, I was so and I did that twice in accident. The second time I tried not drinking at all, and then it just ended up happening. And I was like, fuck. Literally like an hour in again. Me and my girlfriend both did it that day, and then I had to take care of her while I was unable to take care of myself. That was wild. But yeah, never donate blood and drink. It's terrible.
Sorry, I cut it a little short. We'll probably revisit this conversation in the near future if there is enough topics for the week. If you want to check out Brennan's channel, it's in the link, or there's a link in the description below. It is called the Hendrix Tapes. He's at about 43 subscribers as I'm recording this. If you want, let's get him up to 50 subscribers or even more. He's got some great content on his channel. He's going to be uploading a video pretty soon, I think, as well. And yeah, just go check out Brennan's videos, link in the description. You can also help support my channel now through Patreon. I got a Patreon. If you sign up for the Experienced Time Traveler tier, which is the $10 tier, you get your name at the end of the videos, you get a shout out, and you also get scripts from videos that have scripts, and also we're throwing in there my notes, because I'm going to count that as scripts, so you get to see how my mind works in case that's how your mind works. You see how I set up scripts, so on and so forth. So there'll be a link to my Patreon in the description below. There's also a $5 tier and a $1 tier if you don't want to do the $10 tier. But just so everyone knows, I'm not forcing my Patreon on you guys. You'll be hearing about it in videos, but just know it's all up to you. I don't want to push it onto you, just like the merch store. So if you want to sign up, you can. Link in the description. If you don't, I appreciate you watching my video. That's the best feeling in the world, knowing that you watched my video. So until the next video, I'll see you in the future. Bye, guys.